Hello everyone, and welcome to my 12 cards of a Christmas. This is card number 5, although it is not exactly a card, but it is a Christmas themed project. I wanted to go ahead and share it with you. So last year I made these really cute little soda bottle gifts for my son and his two adopted siblings. And I thought, because I'd seen it on somebody else's YouTube, but they'd done like a Valentine's Day thing, and I thought it was really cool. So I made these, small little 20-ounce size soda bottle gifts. And then I had a couple of 2 liters, and I decided I'd make those for my girls. So I made my 2 girls, as well as my nephew, some 2-liter bottle sized bottle gifts. And it was a big hit, and at the time it seemed like it was going to be a very daunting task because there were 2-liter bottles, but we managed to look out and find a bunch of bigger ticket items that we could put in there. So it was all the, I looked at it when my husband asked me why I was doing it last year. For my son and stuff, it was easy. Gift cards went in there. That's what we usually get them, because although we get to see my son, we get to see him maybe once or twice a year, give or take how the year falls. So we don't always think about asking. We know what they're into, but it's hard to get a gift when we don't know if maybe it's something they already have, or stuff like that. So occasionally I do just prefer to give them gift cards. But when we did the ones for my kids, or for my girls and my nephew, he asked why we were doing such big ones. And we ended up with a lot of small things, but we're still too big for the stockings. So it worked out perfectly to have the 2-liter bottles, because we were able to put them in there and it filled it up quicker. But we didn't have a whole bunch of tiny presents under the tree, and then we didn't have a whole bunch of stuff, overflowing in their stocking when Santa hadn't even come yet. So that's kind of where this all went. Just a little background story there for you. So this year I thought, it would be fun. I had soda bottles on hand, and I wanted to go ahead and do it for my son, and I usually just fill them with candy and stuff for them. This year we got him a book, and then we got the other 2 kids gift cards. So I don't know if I'm going to continue doing it, because this year it was quite a bit of a stretch, but I'm going to go ahead and show you the ones I made this year. So this is the, I believe this is the 1.5 size. Give me a second, I've got the thing here. Yeah, so these are 1.5 liter size bottles, and I made the same size for all the kids. So I'm not going to take this one apart, just because it's finished, ready to go, and I have to pack it. I just wanted to share with you guys what I did. But if you want to know more about how I make one of these, I will be happy. I think I still have some kind of bottle left over, unless my kids have taken out all the recycle. I'll be happy to share one. I'm actually thinking about doing one for my husband for Valentine's Day. I'm just not sure how to go about getting it to him, because he will be in Japan, but it is a fun idea, and I think it's a fantastic way to do stuff for the kids. We are not doing stockings this year. The month has gone by so very fast that we have 2 ornaments on our tree. We have a tree up, but we have 2 ornaments on our tree. Thankfully it's a artificial tree. It wasn't a waste of money. But we kind of just time got away from us, so we aren't decorating, because we'll be leaving on Wednesday to head up to my parents'. And since we weren't pulling out the decorations, we weren't pulling out the stockings, so I thought that this would be a fun idea again. And they use this as their stocking stuffer. So my girls get one, as well as my nephew. This is his, actually. It's actually very light compared to theirs. I couldn't find as much stuff for him this year that would fit in it. It was really weird. So anyways, so I just took a bottle. Any size bottle you want to do is fine. Just remember or just keep it in mind when you decide to do these, when buying the stuff to put in it, what size bottle you want to use. So I would recommend having the bottle first instead of getting all the stuff and then going that route. So you just drink whatever's in it, and then you wash it out, and then you cut a little door in it so that you can stuff it in. I just used some red and green raffia stuff. I don't know if that's actually called raffia. That's what I call it for some reason. To stuff the top and the bottom. It also helps kind of stop some of the stuff from rattling around. I then filled it up with all of his things, so he's got quite a bit of candy in there. Again, I had less stuff for him, so we ended up doubling up the candy for him. But he's got a couple of toys in there and some other things. I then took I used my Cricut to cut out this as well as this. This tree, I hid all of the contour pieces, so the little face and stuff, but this is from the Create-A Critters 2 cartridge. It's just a little Christmas tree. And my original plan was to have it sit on here. I just didn't realize how much bigger this was going to be on the bottle, so I stuck it up there. I cut out the shape. What you want to do is you want to very carefully take this off so you have the exact length that it is, and measure that. I shortened mine a little just because this was 12 by 12 paper and I didn't have a bigger mat, so I couldn't do it. I think this measured out at 11.5 and it wouldn't fit on my mat, so I had to shrink it down just a little bit so that I could cut it out on that. But otherwise, it's just a rectangle. You could just measure it and then cut it out yourselves. I was just trying to make it go faster. So you want to take your label off and you want to measure that out so you know. You do want to stay relatively within inside where the label originally goes, just to make it easier on yourself. This actually got shifted up a little bit, but you do want to kind of cover up everything. I have my seam. I know I showed it over here. This is the seam that's stuck together. I have where the tape and stuff was right here. This is where I cut the hole to insert it in, all the candy and stuff. And then this Christmas sentiment is actually from the Tags, Bags, Boxes, and More 2 cartridge. And I just used the Cricut markers to cut it out. And I was a little worried how it would look because it's a really small print. Like, I'm not even I mean, it would have cut out really, really thin if I had used my knife. So, the Cricut blade. So I love the fact that I used the marker instead. I was a little worried. I'd actually been trying to jerry-rig a regular pen. But it worked out beautifully because it just ended up going right over what it had already done. So it just made the lines a lot much darker and crisper. And I love that it did that. I did a test piece to see how it would look. So I think it turned out really fantastic on here, and it made it really stand out against the red. So I just used some scrap paper that I had, so obviously not scrap of this. This was 12 by 12, and I got 2 of these labels out, so I did 6 altogether, so I only ended up using 3 sheets. I did make one for my best friend's oldest daughter. She got a bunch of dress-up type jewelry, like, you know, the fake stuff. And I didn't want to package that just in the package, so I decided to fill up her bottle with all that stuff. And it turned out, I thought it was really cool. But all of this was just scrap paper, so just whatever white paper I had left over, just some green, and then some brown, and then yellow as well. And I just hold this on with a glue dot. Nothing real fancy, because the kids aren't going to care. I mean, I care. I enjoy doing this, so that's why. But I knew I didn't have to go overboard. If I can find a picture of the original bottles that I made last year for my son, I will try and put a link in with this, or not a link, a picture of it in with this one. I did the same thing for all of the bottles. So this year all the bottles had a Christmas tree on them, and then last year I believe they were all the same, except that I had a even number of boys and girls. So I had 3 girls and 3 boys. So the girls got penguins and the boys got reindeers, or it was the other way around. I forget. But then they all had their names labeled on it. This year I didn't put names on them, and I didn't think about that until I was bottling everything up and went, ooh, I'd hate for my son to open up a bottle that has a gift card in it, and he's got the book, and then one of the other kids opened up just an empty bottle. I mean, so I just wrote, can't really see it, but I just wrote their name here on the cap. So again, I will try and put a picture of that one in there, because they turned out really fantastic. So you just fill it up, and then you kind of tape the opening shut, and then put your label on it, and there you go. You've got a wants to go, there we go, and you've got a great little bottle. I find that if you're sending like quite a bit of stuff, or just you want to send something, a gift card, I mean, that's fantastic. I was just trying to find a way to, you know, make it more fun, that the kids weren't just opening this envelope with a gift card. And I thought this was a really cool idea. We did stick candy canes in them too. So this one is for, oops, I have crinkled my tree. What is this one for? This one's for my oldest. And you can see I've got all kinds of stuff stuffed in here. They get makeup that they're allowed to play with, that they like to put on me, and occasionally I let them put on each other. But I find the Dollar Tree just so handy, because I don't care. It's $1. They get some really decently quality makeup and stuff, but if it gets trashed, who cares? It saves my makeup from being destroyed by them, and they get to still have fun and, you know, stuff like that. So I just fill them all up. Each of the kids got something different. My youngest's here is a little different. I'm trying to do this while they're upstairs playing, so forgive me if I start going really fast. Hers was way jam-packed. Somehow I ended up with more stuff for her than I did for my oldest. I haven't figured that out. But again, she got all the same stuff, makeup. There's some of the Mystery My Little Ponies toys, stuff like that. But I'd come across these Despicable Me chapsticks at Walmart over the weekend, and she's got one in here. You could actually maybe, well, you can't really see it, but there's one up here in the cap. I just took the cap off. See, hopefully that's in camera. I can't tell. So I just took the cap off, slid that in, and then put the cap back on. But I didn't want to jam these in there, and I thought this was just really cool that it came with these cute little hair things. So just tied it with a little bit of ribbon, and again, all the same. Now, to get into these, because I'm sure you're all going, okay, that's fantastic, how do these kids get into them? You can go the same way I put them in there. They can just do that, but it's really sharp. So what I have recommended to my friend and my sister last year, and my son-in-law, is that somebody just cuts the top off. So just have an adult, or if you're the adult watching, just take a pair of scissors or a knife or something and just cut off the top completely, and then the kids can just dump it out. It was so funny. Quick little story about it. Excuse me, before I told my sister about it last year, she saw it and she thought it was really cool, and she just kept doing this. She's just turning it upside down. At one point she opened the cap and was, you know, just like shaking the bottle, like, how do I get it up? And I couldn't help but just watch her just do it. Just try and figure it out for herself. Because instead of Scotch tape, I do recommend that you use Post-it packaging tape. You can cut it down, you know, so it's not very big, but it is much stronger than this. I didn't have any on hand. I'm going to have to put a little bit on here. But you could decorate the bottles any way you want. But she, you know, she couldn't figure it out. It was so funny, and I finally just looked at her and I was like, just cut the bottle, just chop the top. So, And, you know, it was kind of one of those moments like, why didn't I think of that? Look on her face. It was fantastic. Loved it. I expected the kids to kind of tip them over and go, I don't get it. How do I, you know, but I mean, even the first question out of her mouth was, how did you get the stuff in there? And then when she cut the bottle, you could see the door, and it was great. So that is my project. Again, sorry for the rambling. That is my project for card number 5. I had a lot of fun making these and stuffing them. I think I anticipated more stuff being able to fit in there, which is why, you know, my kids' ones were so full, but I got it all in there. They'll be able to get it all out. It'll be fun. These will be their stocking stuffers this year. There's actually a little present in here for my oldest, you know. But these are all the kind of things that were either oddly shaped or, you know, the fact that we're not going to be here. We're not going to be at our house for Christmas, so we're not doing the stockings and stuff that, you know, we didn't have to overflow the ones at my parents', you know, but they still got their stocking stuffers from here. So, and all the kids will open them all at the same time, and it'll be lots of fun. I even asked them if they wanted me to do them again for them, and they said yes. So, don't know if this is going to be a continuous tradition or not, but I think it's just another fun way for the kids to get gifts in a non-traditional type of way. I mean, it's a great tradition to start, you know. I've seen ones where people have filled them with money and anything, and I think that these are a very fun and a relatively inexpensive way of doing something, because you can get a whole bunch of like little things from, like, you know, the Dollar Tree or the dollar section at Target or whatever, and just get a decent sized bottle, you know, 20 ounce, 2 liter, whatever, and just fill them. You know, that I think the kids love it because you know, it's one gift, but it's filled with tons, and I think it's fantastic, and I'm so glad I, 1, saw that video, and 2, decided to do it both last year and this year, that it may become a tradition. I just have to think ahead of time when planning these out. This was kind of a spur of the moment thing this year, but I think if I continue to do it, I'm going to have to prepare for it ahead of time. So thanks everyone so much for joining me, and look for card number 6, which should be coming here very soon. Alright, happy holidays. Bye.